Hallo, wir sind hier heute in Berlin-Kreuzberg und kurz davor, Kali Ray zu treffen. Kali Ray ist die berühmte Begründerin von TriYoga Flows und für 2 Workshops in Berlin. Sie hat Zeit, uns ein paar Fragen zu beantworten, worüber wir uns sehr freuen.
January the 5th, 1980. I was leading a class in meditation. And right when we began the meditation, prana began to move my body through mudra, pranayama, and a flow of asanas. Until that time, I had not practiced hatha yoga, but I was living a yogic lifestyle with my focus on meditation and the jnana, the philosophy. So from that point, then the energy continued to move my body through yoga sadhana that revealed to me TriYoga, and it's continued now for almost 30 years. And this experience is called Kriyavati, and it's when spontaneous asana, pranayama, and mudra takes place due to the flow of kundalini energy. So there wasn't any experience in it, so my mind was empty. And then the Kundalini began to guide. First, many different movements came through, and then after a few years, there were students who witnessed these states where the energy was moving my body through the sadhana, and they said, please, teach us this. Then inside, this energy began to repeat patterns. And through these years, that has given us the systematized method that everyone now can experience TriYoga. As I mentioned in basics, it's reachable for everybody, whatever body type or age or condition, they can enter into the flow. And that's what's important, is the fluidity of the movement, of the breath, of mudra, and it's to take us ultimately to a meditative state. And that also is a flow. It's a flow of mental energy in one direction that guides us inside to ultimately expand our consciousness. I mean, many today say flow, and yet back in the 80s when I first demonstrated this to yoga conference in America, it was the first time flow had been seen, or even thought. Until then, it's mostly studied. I mean, there were obviously vinyasa, but this is different. Because we can look at vinyasa as we define it in Sanskrit. It's a way to organize. It's a thought-out way to organize, and it can be very nice. And when people experience these prana-inspired sequencing, then they're going to feel such a difference. When you look at it from the outside, you can see that every movement counts. Like, for example, this is popular in countries where Tai Chi is based. Like for example China or other Asian countries, because they understand that every movement is important. And so from this asana to this asana, what connects it? That's this precise flow. One, we have a trinity of asana, pranayama, and mudra, those 3 components. We also have these wave-like movements, because our spine, it's in a wave, there's curves in it. So we need to honor that and have a wave through our spine and experience it vertebra by vertebra. So unique. You won't find that elsewhere. Vertebra by vertebra, meaning that when we have from one movement to the next, it either begins from the base of the spine and flows up, or the base of our body, or from the top down. It doesn't jump randomly. So that we know what position our spine is in at all times. Is it in a flexion? Is it in an extension, forward bend, backward bend? Is it a rotation? Is it a lateral flexion? I mean, it's very precise. Or is it in a natural alignment? And while maintaining this flow, there's a rhythm. It's very important. Like the inner body, a heart has a rhythm. And if it doesn't, we seek why. We go to doctor, it's not a rhythm. Our lungs, it has to be a rhythm. And yet many people, it's not. It's sometimes we inhale a short breath, sometimes a little bit longer, next time shorter. The rhythm has been lost in most people. So in this one, we create a rhythm in the body, we create a rhythm in the breath. That's just like the mudras, there's a rhythm. And this outer rhythm connects with the inner rhythm. And prana begins, as I mentioned, to awaken in such a way that this rhythm affects the inner body as well. But this one, from beginning to end, it doesn't speed up or slow down. It's the same rhythm. So that's a key point. Relaxation in action, not forcing the movement, not struggling, not pushing, because we can only enter into the flow through the flow. So that's important, that we have relaxation in action. You won't see our faces, straining. Our body's not straining. It's a meditation. Ultimately, the whole experience is a meditation. And we have economy of movement. That's unique. That means every movement counts. You only move what you need to move, nothing else. But in our daily life, our body is filled with restless movements. We're moving unconsciously in so many ways that aren't needed, and it wastes a lot of energy. So economy of movement, when approaching the asana practice, allows us to conserve energy. So many ways this is unique. The flow is universal. There's a flow throughout nature, throughout creation, there's a flow. And when we go to the different countries, those who are drawn to tune into the flow, then there's that common feeling. They're just so happy because they can feel it's like awakening, and it's so different. But yes, I do see there are differences. For example, we're here in Germany, and I truly love being here. And the rest of the world, at least in America, we admire the Germans for their love of detail, their appreciation for detail, not superficial, but going very deep. And when you go deep, you appreciate every detail. And because every movement counts like Tai Chi, you don't have random movements. You're playing a song, there's not extra notes that don't fit that key. So in the same way, because of this detail, the Germans can understand the importance of that. So when they learn this method, they really listen and they apply each step. And that's why I believe it's been so appreciated here by the German students, because they are experiencing the flow as soon as they start to take the class, because they're not sloppy in their movements. They're not thinking, oh, here's an asana, here's one, I'll just get there. No, they understand when I say every movement is precise. So I love being here. Everything is in cycles. So the rise of finances, the shift of it, the way to change the energy throughout the planet, there's got to be changes, such as these cycles. It's inherent in nature, like we have 4 seasons. But I know there's a lot of people, putting a lot of focus on the 2012. And sure, the Maya calendar, they have seen it, I think, in a cycle, a very big cycle they're looking at. And this is the beginning of a next cycle. But just like when a baby is born, it's not immediate change, it's a period of time that they grow through childhood into adult, and they really start to open, their awareness and come to do what they've come to do. So whatever this shift is going to take place, it may not happen exactly in the year 2012 in terms of we see it so strongly, but yes, there's a shift. I mean, there are cycles. We can only expect this.